this webinar. I can see there's already quite a few of you coming in. So we are down on the south coast of the UK, both in slightly separate parts. So feel free to come say where you are. It's the afternoon over here. Hopefully it'll be the morning for some of you guys across in the US. As you're all coming in, I'll just introduce ourselves. We have the other person you can see on camera is David. If you don't know him already, he heads up support, and I head up customer success here. If you are a regular of one of our webinars, you'll see I didn't introduce David. David is sick. Not David, sorry, Will. Will on the keyboards is sick, but don't worry. Feel free to keep asking all your questions in the chat, and I will do my best to keep up with the answers or throw them to David at the end. Hi, Nan from USA. Oh, a few from the USA. So yes, today we will run through our the latest features that CoverageBook has released. Some are quite hidden sometimes, so David will show you how to use them. I'll go talk you through our benchmarking report really quickly. We always try and keep these sessions to half an hour because we know how super busy you all are. And we'll always send you a recording at the end. I think that's all the housekeeping, David. Have I got through everything? I have. So I'll hand over to David now.
Oh, thank you very much, Laura. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. Yeah, so we're going to be just covering all of the cool new things that we've launched in recent weeks and months. And we've also had a couple of things that have commonly come up on customer support that we thought we'd also address with you guys and just talk about like how you can check when a value or a metric has been edited in your account and what you can do to reset that for future imports as well, which is quite a sort of a common question that we hear. I have around 6 different updates to cover with you. I'll try and be as quick as I can, and then I'll hand over to Laura at the end. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat as we go, and we will either answer them along the way or answer them at the end. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is that we have made an update to the way that our usage and clip usage works. And what we've actually done is if you import any files as images, so if you tend to get print clipping images, or perhaps you're uploading some still images like a JPEG or a PNG, a social media post or something like that, we no longer count file image uploads as an import, and so they will be free for you to upload. You will only use your usage for your monthly or annual allowances when you are uploading an online URL from a website or from a social media post, or if you're uploading something like an MP3 or an MP4 file for radio or broadcast. So yeah, file image imports are now completely free. You can upload those. They won't count towards your usage. Now, the first major feature update to talk about is folders. And we have redesigned and rethought about how to make folders and organizing both folders and reports much easier for you. So what you will now see when you log into your CoverageBook account, if you have more than one person on your team that logs in, this particular books and folders page will now be unique to you. All of the books that you see in your books page that you can see here, the most recently created and edited ones will always show first. You now have this updated folders list down on the left-hand side. So any folders that you create will show on this A to Z list. You will also now, so you can just click on new folder at the top here to create a folder, just give it a name and we'll add that to your list. If you have a really, if you have a really long list of folders, they will also scroll in line as well, so they'll be nice and easy for you just to quickly scroll between them to get to the folder that you want. But we've also added a new feature which allows you to pin your favorite folders to the top of your your user dashboard page. So this is really useful if you tend to work on just a few client folders. Perhaps you've got lots of team members that tend to work on just a subset of clients. They can pin their most used folders at the top. They will always be accessible for you. The order in which you pin them is the order in which they'll appear here as well, so you can customize how they look. And if you've got lots of folders that you manage, you can pin up to 60 at a time. So there's plenty that you can use. You can also unpin those folders really quickly at any time just by unpinning them. The other thing that we've done is we've built a new folders index page as well. You can access this either by clicking on the folders link in the top navigation bar, or you can use the view folders index at the bottom here, and this will also access it. Oh, hi, Katie. I'm just going to answer this question now, actually. What's the difference between books and folders? So a book is an individual coverage report that you have prepared for your particular client. And really, the folder is just the place where you can store all of those books. So the folder really is kind of like your top level hierarchy. You can organize and add these however you like. So if you are a typical PR agency, you can create one folder for each one of your clients. But you can also do them by month, by year, by region, by project, however you would like. The really good thing is that once you have created a folder, you will see all of the reports inside that folder, so you can really help to organize those. And what I would recommend is that if you do set up folders for your teams, it's always worth creating new books inside that folder, so that you can ensure that they're saved to the right place each time. So hopefully that explains what the difference between a book and a folder is. Yeah, the book is kind of the individual report, and you can add as many individual reports to a folder to help organize them. So yes, this folders index page, if you click into here, it will open up an A to Z list of all of your folders to help really organize them. If you are a smaller team or you only have a few folders, you probably won't need to use this page very much. But if you build up lots of folders over time, it will be super useful for you. Again, from this page, you can also click on the pin icon to pin your folders to your dashboard. They will also appear in the other view that we just looked at. If you dive into a folder, from here you can also pin and unpin. You also have the option on this menu to the right to rename or delete the folder as well, so you can keep those organized and get rid of the ones you don't need. And also, if you have accidentally added a book to the wrong folder, all you need to do is click on the three dots below the book, go down to move to another folder, and you can then just move that book between folders to make sure they're all in the right place. So we're really hoping that you'll find this new view will be super useful and will also be customized to each user as well. And we've got some more cool updates and features expected soon. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The next is clip refreshing. So when you create a CoverageBook report and you have online and social coverage, it's possible to refresh the social engagements and views for those pieces of coverage to collect the latest numbers from our providers. So for engagements, that's things like likes and comments and shares, and the views will be like estimated views, etc. You can do this at a book level. You can also do it at a single clip level, and we've also started to automate the process for social as well, and I'll talk about how we do that in a moment. But first, to refresh the metrics in a book, if you're in the overview tab of a report, go across to the third option where it says metrics and backlinks. And then from here, you'll see that there's a refresh data button. Now, this will refresh all of the clips in a book as long as they've been imported into your report within the last 30 days. So there is like a monthly limit to being able to refresh all of the clips in a report. If you have some clips that are under 30 days in a book and some that are older, we will automatically refresh all of the newer content for you. And you'll see a note to say that we do that here. All you need to do is click on the Start Refresh option from this page, and we will update those shares, engagements, and views for you for all of the social and online clips. If for any, and one of the reasons why we do this is that probably creating monthly reports for clients is the most frequent and common thing. So what I would recommend is if you are creating regular reports for clients and perhaps you're adding clips either at the beginning or the middle of the month, but you're not going to share the report until the end, it's always worth thinking about coming into this overview page and refreshing the book to get the latest numbers before you're ready to share that with your clients. It normally takes like an hour or so for the refresh to happen. Now, one of the things that we have also done recently is that for YouTube content, we have found that views and engagements especially tend to really ramp up within the first month of the content being added. So if you have imported a YouTube clip to your book, the good news is that we will now automatically refresh the views and engagements for the first month since it's been imported. So for the first week, we'll refresh the engagements every 24 hours. And then after that, we'll do it once a week for 3 weeks to ensure that you get the latest numbers for this particular platform. If you have a clip that you just want to refresh one clip, or you want to refresh a clip that's older than 30 days, when you're inside the book and you're in this clip edit view, if you hit the refresh data, views and engagements button here, you can refresh the data just for a single clip. And this will work not just for YouTube, but for any online or social clip. So perhaps if you've added a piece of coverage or an online article to a book, and then 3 months later, you know that it's been picked up somewhere else and it's been shared a bunch on social media, you can come here and refresh it. We will show you a quick message to show you the last time that this clip was refreshed. In my case, it was 6 months ago for this YouTube item. But what I can do is I can just hit that start refresh button and it will automatically collect the latest numbers available for that particular clip. And that, as I say, that normally takes up to an hour for that data to come through, but it's normally quick if you're just doing one clip. The other thing to mention about the refreshing is that we've changed the way that it works. And this will be especially helpful for customers that get a lot of social or Twitch content. So what will happen now is if you click that refresh button, we will only update the views and engagements if the number is higher than it currently is. So this will mean that you will always keep or retain the original views and engagements that you had. What was happening with Twitch content especially was that if that clip got taken off of Twitch, and you hit the refresh button, it would reset all of the values back to 0, which was super frustrating. So sorry that happened. We've now fixed it, and the numbers will only ever go up. They'll never go down. Now, the next feature that I wanted to talk about was, and has actually been really, really popular. And it's basically letting us know when a screenshot hasn't worked well for you in a report. So we often get messages on support from customers asking about a particular screenshot, and we'll always help out that way. But we really wanted to make this as simple as possible for you as a user to tell us when a screenshot hasn't worked. So what I mean by that is that sometimes you'll import a piece of coverage and there'll be like a pop-up or an ad, or you'll see like a grey film over the top of the image. And that normally means that there's a cookies banner or something that's gotten in the way of a good screenshot. If you click into the screenshot area here, it will open up the image editing menu. And from here, this is where you can do all of your regular kind of image editing. You can select the focus area for the screenshot. You can crop it. You can also completely replace our default screenshot with one of your own as well. That's a new feature that we've introduced recently that's been really helpful. And then underneath, you'll see that there's a new line that says, are you happy with this screenshot? Yes or no. If you are happy with the screenshot, do let us know about it. We've had lots of positive feedback, which has been awesome to hear. So thank you for that. If you are unhappy with the screenshot, please do click no, and then you can report this particular clip to us. We've thought about probably the most common reasons why a screenshot doesn't work. So you can just hit one of these pre-formatted buttons to let us know, or you can type in some comments and hit send feedback. If the image is of blurry or poor quality, or there's a pop-up getting in the way, as I discussed, or potentially there's like a robot detection or a capture that's appeared, click one of those options and send it to us, and we will see if we can fix that for future imports that you make. So it will help continually improve quality for problem websites. The top two options, we might not be able to help with too much right now. So the first one is content behind a paywall. Please do let us know if this is affecting you. However, the likelihood is there's not a lot that we can do if the coverage is behind something like a subscription login or paywall. And that's purely just because you need to be a registered user on that platform to view that content. So normally what will happen is you'll see a screenshot of like a login or sign up to view page. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to change that, but the metrics that we collect should be current and relevant to that particular piece. We do include a URL hyperlink out to the article in the clip itself. So if anyone reading a report does have a subscription and is authorized to view that content and they can log in, we've got a link that will take them straight there. And then finally, the last one is screenshot is out of date. This applies especially to websites that tend to use the same URL address, but they update the content on that page regularly. So it might be like a listicle page, an events calendar, the 10 best of things to do, the 10 places to visit, those sorts of things. What can sometimes happen is if you've added a URL from that clip or from that website before, when you try to upload a new URL, a new clip using the same URL, we will give you the old screenshot, which isn't super helpful. There's two things that you can do here. So the first is that you can just click on the Add Edit Media area. You can take a screenshot using your preferred tool and hit the Replace Screenshot Image and just replace that with one of your own. That's fine, and that should just take a few moments to do. Alternatively, the other option is we've actually built a copy feature. So any clip that you see that's out of date, if you click on the three dots above and to the right of that clip and hit the copy option, we'll make an exact duplicate of that clip and we'll treat it as a completely new submission. And what this means is you'll now see there's this yellow banner at the top that says this item's a copy of another screenshot in your account. Do you want to take a new screenshot? And if you hit that button, it will update the latest version of that page for you. So it should help alleviate that issue that you're seeing. And you can always go back into your book and just delete that original screenshot if you no longer need it. That's fine. But yes, please do continue to report screenshots to us. We've had lots of responses coming through. It's really great that you guys are using it. And yeah, do let us know and we'll continue to improve over time. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about, this is quite a common support query, and it's related to outlet data, as I mentioned before. So what can sometimes happen is that a user on a CoverageBook account might, for some reason, have edited the publication metrics, so either the domain authority or the unique visits for a particular clip. You can also do this as a permanent override, which means that any future clips that you import will always show these numbers. And this can sometimes be confusing because you might be expecting to see current visitor numbers appear in your reports. If that ever happens, what you can do is quickly resolve it, and you can also check when a value has been overridden. So here, for example, you'll see that the domain authority and unique visits have both been overridden for this particular clip, and you won't see the Moz or SimilarWeb logo. So for example, if I switch back to this clip, you know that these are automated values because you'll see the platform logos from those providers. There's a few things that you can do here. If you click into the clip itself, you can use the reset option at the bottom to reset the values just for this particular clip. So you can go back to using our original values. You can also take this one step further as well. If you click into the edit outlet area again and go down to the manage outlet option, this will take you to the main outlet profile for this particular page, in which case this is our PR resolution website by CoverageBook. You will see that some values have been overridden, unique visits and domain authority. If you click on edit and then just hit the reset button for both of those and click save, it will automatically revert back to using automated value, and you'll now see that there's an auto collected data option for this outlet, so you know that SimilarWeb and Moz are providing those values. When I update when I add a new clip in the future, it will always pull through the latest visits and domain authority for this clip now that it's been reset back. You'll also see below that if any of your clips have been edited, you'll see like a little yellow dot, and it will say this value has been overridden. You can either click into each of those clips individually and reset the values as you like, or you can select each of those clips together and hit the update with profile data button, and we will replace all of the metrics with the latest numbers available for that outlet. So there's a few quick ways that you can reset the values for your account back to automated numbers, and you can also reset previous clips if you would like to do that. Now, I've just got one final thing before I hand over to Laura, and that is that we have added a new export to CSV feature for silver and above customers. So if you head over to the Coverage Vault, this is a list of all of the clips you've ever added to your account. We've done some other webinars and stuff on this in the past, so I won't go into too many details here, but essentially you can use this area to filter by your client folders. You can filter by book or over a date range, and then you can select a range of clips, and then you have some options. So you can create a new book from that selection. You can add the selection to an existing book, but there is also now a new create CSV from selected clips. So this is really valuable if you just want to export a big list of data from the Coverage Vault without needing to create a report first. If you hit that button and then hit create CSV, we will email you a download link when it's available, depending on how many clips you're wanting to export into that CSV. If you are a Bronze or Bronze Plus customer, don't worry. All you need to do is just basically make a book from that selection of clips first. That won't count towards your usage because you've already added them. And then once that book's been created, you can dive into the share menu of the book, and you'll be able to grab a CSV export as well. So you can do exactly the same thing, just in an additional couple of steps. I think that was everything from me, Laura. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen so you can hop on now.
Hiya, I'm back. A couple of questions have come through, and I'll let you read through them quickly while I steal the show for a couple of minutes. So feel free, everyone, to write down any more questions you've got, and Dave will do some couple of demos in a minute. Yeah. I just wanted to use this opportunity to quickly share the benchmarking report that we have put through. David, there you go. I think you see my screen now. So to find it, you just look at the top nav up here, and at the very bottom, we've got a new link here, which is benchmarks and research. And basically, about 5 years ago, we had a look at lots of URLs added to CoverageBook and did a bit of a benchmarking survey. And lots of people asked for us to do it again. So we've done it again, and we've done it absolutely bigger than we did before. So we worked with Steph Bridgman this time, and she's a media analyst, and she looked through 6 million articles that you guys have added to CoverageBook over the last year. So that's across 200,000 sites. All the data is anonymized, so we don't know who submitted it. All we know is the URL and the data associated with it. And what's great about this is that means we're looking at a pool of 6 million coverage URLs. So we can start to have a look to see what makes a good piece of coverage. We had a webinar on it last month, so I won't go through loads of detail, but I just want to quickly show you a couple of things that have come out since, or how to use it in your own coverage reporting. So this is the main page. The first round of the actual report to download will be out soon. It's just going through its final bit of design work. But a couple of things to show you on this one. One, we had a look at sort of how strong sites you're getting coverage on. And the way to look at this graph and relate it to yourself is if you look down here. So we use domain authority to see how strong the URL of the sites were. And we can see that 15% of the sites were with 90 to 100. So 100 is as strong as possible. So if you have some coverage in your report and it's got domain authority between 90 and 100, you know you're in your top 15% of all the PR coverage added to CoverageBook of those 6 million URLs. So, you know, use custom slides, use custom metrics, start bringing through these things and saying, look, this is a great piece of coverage. If we look at it benchmark across lots of other PR coverage. And that's gone up, and you can also use it in planning. So, you know, that used to be 1.5% and it's gone up to 15%. So, you know, bigger news sites are taking more and more coverage. PR is getting better at selling it in, or are these news desks now more approachable? Should we be using them in more of the planning and the media list of who you go out to? The only other stat I'm going to pull through, because I'll let you go through it in more detail, is coverage being shared. I'm a big advocate of looking at smaller numbers, and shares is one of the numbers that I like to get people to look at. So, you know, if your coverage if your coverage is being shared, it means that it's not only just being placed someone and someone's reading it, but they're going to do something with it. So interestingly enough, 67% of coverage doesn't get any shares. What's great about this is that means if you have any coverage with any social shares, it's really good to be able to, again, shout about it. If you have 10 shares or more, you're in this top 19%. So it's really, really good. So it just puts a bit of a benchmark to be able to shout about those smaller numbers. And Steph's gone through lots more of this in her blog posts. So there's one here, and you can see that she looks at more takeaways, why this might be happening, and goes into everything far more detail. So really do read it if you're interested in it. Some bits I wanted to bring your attention to, and sort of relates back to David's point just before about looking at the values in your book. We did notice that there are lots of Google search results or Google Drive results in the URLs. We excluded them not to obscure our data, but that does make me think that they might be in some reports. So if you are looking through, check through those numbers. Is there anything that was really highlights that looks off? Are the results too big? Do you have any sort of rogue URLs in there that you need to take out? So if you went on our last webinar, you might have seen all of this so far, but part 2 has just landed. So she's drilling down even more now. So part 2 is quite cool because basically she takes some of the main sites that we saw. So it'll be interesting for anyone who's had coverage on the Daily Mail, the Guardian, the BBC, Manchester Evening News, also US titles, the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Forbes, MSN, and Yahoo. So she's taken each of these publications and had a look to see what is good coverage. And again, like I said before, it's good to be able to benchmark your coverage, what is good, but also how to plan. So for the Daily Mail, she's driven down to wires. Wires aren't getting that many engagements. You know, are they maybe too hidden? Are they somewhere that you should approach on the Daily Mail? Or, you know, should you be going more to showbiz? So please have a read through. And if you have any questions, let me know. We are still digging down in this, getting more and more specific to make it more and more useful for you guys. So hopefully looking at things like health, the health industry, how does coverage within the health industry and health titles look, or B2B. So watch out for emails from me about it, and if you have any questions, do let me know. But I really hope that everyone's using this in their reports. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and throw the gauntlet back to David. I didn't know if you wanted to demo any of these questions. I've seen you've gone through and answered quite a few. Were there any that you wanted to go through?
Yeah, I think I've just mentioned most of them in the chat there, so hopefully everybody's seen that. But yeah, just to say, like, during refresh, do you need to keep the window open? No, absolutely not. Once you hit that refresh button, it can take up to an hour. Go and make a cup of coffee, close your laptop, work on other books. It's fine. We'll just do that in the background for you. In fact, that's true of most things in CoverageBook. Once you're importing a bunch of clips, you can just get off and work on another book, and we'll just import those in the background for you. So no worries there.
Don't sit on the imports screen. We see some people do that for a while, and while your coverage is importing, go ahead and amend your book. You don't need to sit on that screen.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a question about, can we allow users to delete coverage from the Coverage Vault? Really good question. We have had feedback from other users as well that would be helpful. It's not something you can do right now, but I'm fairly confident it might be something you can do in the future when we get around to it, and I'm not looking at our developers or product managers or anything like that. You'll probably tell me off for saying that. Also, yeah, Victoria asked, is there an easy way to share coverage from one book to another, especially if you've got different sections? I would probably go to the Coverage Vault, find the book, find the client folder, find the book, find the section, select all clips. You can add them to another book and another section. That's probably the quickest way to do it, rather than trying to copy clips directly from a book to another book.
Or another thing that it depends what you're doing it for. You might want to copy the whole book, and then you could delete the the sections that you don't want. That would be another way that you could do it.
Yeah, you could do that. So like if you hover over any of the books in that books page, you'll see the 3 dots below and to the right of it. If you hit that menu and go down to copy, you can make an exact duplicate of any report, and then you can just edit that down separately, if that would also be another way that you can do it. That's also a really good way of tailoring the same report for different audiences. You can just make multiple versions of the same book and switch things up and change things around as well. I think the only other one we had as well was just about the list of metrics we can choose from when adding a new clip. Sorting it by alphabetic order, really good suggestion. I will definitely pass that one along to the team, because it would be helpful if those custom metrics were organised in some way, especially if you have lots of them. So yeah, no, thank you for that. Okay, I think that's all of the questions answered. What I would suggest, as we always say, if you have any questions at all, do get in touch with us at support@coveragebook.com. We'd love to hear from you, and we're always happy to help answer any questions that you have. So yeah, do get in touch.
Okay. Thank you very much. And thank you, Katie, for saying it's interesting. It's always good to know. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. We are, I think for the first time, David, 2 minutes over. So we're so very sorry.
Sorry about that. It's probably because I forgot to share my screen at the beginning and then had to go back and redo a bit. So apologies for that.
All right. Have a lovely rest of your day, everyone. And we'll hope to see you at our next one. See you later.
Thanks very much. Bye.